Hello everyone, it's Albert here. I decided to do a review about the episode Horseplay. I made this recording just before my vacation started, just like the many others episodes I've seen. And this is actually before they were officially released since the main of the league started. But anyways, let's start with the review. When I saw this episode, I was not prepared for at least to see Celestia has a more bigger part in this episode, especially when Twilight had an idea to celebrate her 1111 years since when she first raised the sun. And even then, this episode was way beyond even I could even imagine. And even to hear said more about that Celestia had some interest in acting, and she was being, and even that Twilight offered Celestia to be the main star in their play. I did not expect to see Twilight asking Celestia to take part of the play. It was just wow. And to see that Spike's reaction for this, it was priceless. But even to see her friends' faces, that was even more priceless. But even now, even from all of this in this episode, Twilight and her friends realized Celestia was not a good actor. In fact, she was so bad actor so they tried to make it excuses at the time, tried to lie that she was a very good actor. And she tried to take some acting lessons before the big play, but then somehow she found out that her Twilight friends had lied for her and was angry at them. Even Spike was the one, the narrator for this play. So, how would Twilight react when they found out that Celestia was mad at them? And especially to see how that they would have the sun. First, Pinky had an idea to use a big marshmallow to be on a fire as to be acted as a sun. Well, that part was not so well, since it started spreading out pieces of the marshmallows across the stage. And then Trixie used her talent to use fireworks part as a sun. But that idea was so bad when they started flying around and exploded. Then even asked the young Six to be as the main one of the other main characters of the Sorceress, and even they know now be part of the series. Before even we have been told exactly how Celestia started to race to the moon and the sun. It was told in the play that it was actually Starswell the Bearded and 4 other sorcerers who was able to raise the moon and the sun, at least the sun. But even to see the main Six was trying to make this play to work, and even say the young Six to these actors, and even see Fancy Fancy Pants and even Luna in the audience. But for most of this episode, it was very entertainment actually. See that Celestia tried to acting was, well, even she was a bad actor, but she was still a good episode. Even to see, we haven't seen much Celestia or Luna as main characters since Royal Problem. But this episode was very good, even better than I expected. But this play with as Celestia as a main part, Spike tried to, when they realized that they didn't have the sun for the play, all the commotions that they had to repair, how to fix the plays, acting, the script, everything, they had totally forgot about the sun part. But then Celestia had to tell Spike to improvise. That was actually something they... If he hadn't do it, the play would be a disaster. A big disaster. Spike eventually came up with an idea that before Celestia rises the sun, it requires at least 5 unicorns to raise the sun, and including the stars were to bear it. But even from all this, even since Celestia was no longer part of the play, Fluttershy became part as the main characters and the main actor. But since in the final episode with the Ponytones, she was actually stage fright. She only came up on the stage when on some of her friends and animals for the Ponytones, but she has really got far from her stage fright from that episode until now. I mean, it's just amazing how much courage she had taken over the last few seasons, actually. And even to see that she really has been acting so well over this past seasons, she was not. It did seem that she has no stage fright. She was very much a natural talent as an actor as well. But I can understand she didn't want to be part of an actor's full-time work, since she had to take care of her animal friends. And how that to see that Celestia used to write the sun as to make this appear at the Fluttershy rises soon at the sun. But if we could see in the audience, we see that Luna is looking a bit mad or a bit disappointed or some kind, that she sees that the sun is rising, and every other opponent in the audience really thinks this play was a great success. If they haven't used this improvisation from Spike when he tells this narrating the story, and since without the sun rising, this play would had a big disaster. But most of the story from this episode that we have seen Fluttershy became a much more confident on a stage in front of a big audience, since rather from the episode when the Ponytails, that was something that we didn't expect to see from her. And I can understand that she was very much stage fright from that episode, but in this, there's a big difference. A very much big difference. And even to hear that Celestia wanted to be an actor when she was young, that was not a big surprise, since she was still very much young and she wanted to do something else, and that she had many other interests like magic, acting. Well, I wouldn't mind if even Luna had some other dream that she wanted to be doing when she is doing something silly. Perhaps if Luna wanted to be an explorer or an adventurer rather than a princess. Who knows? But I was actually very much happy to see at least one episode focused more on Celestia rather than main 6. Even from all of this episode, I mean, this was very much good one. And I can even say if this was a bad word or good, how exactly. If I had to say it from a scale of 1 to 10, I would say likely 9.5 as a good one. So still, it's a good episode. To learn a little more about Celestia's childhood, a little more how she started to raise the sun, that Starfield appeared to discover that Celestia had the ability to rise the star, the sun by herself, rather from 5 unicorns. That was something we haven't been told earlier in this show. But from most what I can see from this episode itself, I was actually enjoyed this. It was a lot of great moments in it, when Pinkie Pie with her marshmallow fire, and the fireworks from Trixie idea, and even then, at the end of the episode, that Celestia told that she was going to step down as a princess, leaving the throne to be focus her life on acting. To see the main six and even Spike in Twilight's faces was just the price it's worth. But since Celestia managed to trick them with that acting, perhaps she's not that bad actor. It just take time to get better. But well, anyways, if I had to put this episode in a rating, well, absolutely A+. Definitely an A+. Well, everyone, this was the Swedish Diablo, over and out.